It was my understanding that you two went on a date to a Coldplay concert, and I'm just wondering your relationship and how that translates in the octagon when you're fighting.
It was actually a double date.
Oh,
Bisbing had a date too. We went with Bisbing, so we double dated. For everyone's information, it wasn't just me and Demetrius.
And they were making out, I saw.
Feeding each other popcorn. No, we had the opportunity to go to a Coldplay concert, and they said we'd sit together, and I was like, I don't hate the guy. I can do that, whatever. And yeah, it was a good time, whatever. You know, I'm not ashamed. Coldplay was awesome live, so take that. But other than that, it doesn't really affect me. As strange as it is, it was actually a little bit inspirational to be in there because we were in the same arena, the Air Canada Center, and here's this crowd, you know, going nuts over this act in the middle. And I was just thinking, like, come 2 months, we're going to be in the middle, putting on a show, and these fans are going to be going crazy for us. Yeah, people won't be crying and have lighters, but, you know, that many people, we're going to be controlling in there, and we're going to be the ones in the middle putting on a show. So at times I'd look at Demetrius and just imagine fighting him, you know, in front of all these people. So even though we were at a Coldplay, I was still thinking about taking him out. Not going to lie. What do you say, Demetrius?
Yeah, you know, going to Coldplay was awesome, sick band, and just the fact that I was there with Joseph, you know, it didn't bother me at all. You know, we spent time with each other in Australia, knowing that we would make it to the finals and fight each other there. You know, going out getting milkshakes, having our late night excursions, and just exploring things. And it's not going to affect anything at all. We know it's a business, and we're both trying to make history and put on a great show for the Canada fans, and just have a great time.
The cancellation of the fight, would it have made a difference if they have told you that? Would you have taken the fight if they have told you that they was going to cancel the event on UFC 151?
You know, I really don't know. I don't know if it would have made much of a difference if they had told me. But they didn't tell me that they were going to cancel the fight. But, you know, like I said, you know, they asked me to put my whole livelihood on the line, and I train 5 times a day. And being the champion, you know, it means more to me than it means to any fan. It means more to me than what it means to Dana White. If I would have somehow lost that fight, Dana wouldn't have lost a night of sleep over it. Life would have gone on, and I would have been the one stuck out there. So I don't know if it would have made that much of a difference. Ultimately, you know, why wasn't there a great card? You know, what was wrong with that card? Why did it have to get canceled? You know, I watch bar fights. I love fights, no matter what level it is. So I think it was more of an insult to the other fighters on the card that, you know, pretty much, you know, it was almost like saying they weren't good enough to host the card without me and Dan Henderson. And I think it was more of an offensive thing. They should be mad at the superiors, not mad at me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think at the end of the day, I probably would have done what was best for my career. And I can't really carry the weight of what happened because it really wasn't my thing. You know, I showed up to fight. My teammates was on that card. I would have loved to have been able to watch them fight. But, you know, I think some real questions need to be asked to Dana about why the fight got canceled.
Using long hair like he used many years ago, it's something like the original Vitor. We will see the original and explosive Vitor this fight.
As far as I know, you know, the hair doesn't have nothing to do with fight, but I'm just kind of in a season of Benaya season. I don't know if you guys know Benaya, but I'm in Benaya season, just kind of enjoying the moment, but doesn't matter my hair, it's just the skills and the will.
I believe last week in Los Angeles, you said that when you see Joseph Benavidez, you will expletive strangle him. You are very close to him right now. I'm wondering, did we miss that, or what's going on?
Firstly, you're not asking me any questions. That's why I'm quiet, and I'm falling asleep over here. So come on, guys, step your game up. Secondly, the strangling that you're talking about has already taken place.
Oh, wow.
We have photographic evidence on Joseph's phone. I strangled him. We've settled our differences. He's apologized. He's turned down a fight with my son. We're good now. We're good. He's okay. He knows his place. He's one of the little guys. I'm one of the big guys.
You're an average-sized guy. Way to go.
Joseph, you apologized to him. Is that accurate?
Yeah, actually, no.
I just said, I was like, Dang, I'm getting so many questions. I don't really know if this even qualifies as a Twitter war.
We have no problem.
I was like, we've only tweeted once or twice. I was like, I don't think this really qualifies as a Twitter war. Said, you said you were going to choke me. I said, how about you do it? And it wasn't very strong. I'm going to tell you the truth. I wasn't impressed.
The opportunity to make history sort of comes few and far between, those opportunities. Can you guys talk about what it will mean to you, as a fighter, as a professional, to potentially make history in your sport on Saturday night?
Yeah, the great thing about doing this is it's something you could have never really imagined. When you get down, you put your goals down, it's to be the world champion. You can't really imagine being the first ever. So being the world champion is everything to me. It's pretty amazing to work for something so hard and want it so bad and now have it be a few days away. So the fact that it's the first ever, it's really just the cherry on top. We're in here to leave a legacy, and that's a great start to the legacy. That's history. This only happens once. So like I said, it's nothing you can really plan for, but for me, it's just a cherry on top and that extra motivation and inspiration. But being the world champ is just everything to me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think you bored John to death.
Is this on? Oh, yeah, it's on. Yeah, man, I have to agree with Joseph. Being such at a young age, at 26 years old, to be able to accomplish something like this at the highest level, at the pinnacle of the sport, being a champion, and, being even better just to be the first and submit my legacy as to one of the first ever flyweight champions of the world.